Week in Review, episode 307.
What's up, guys? The phenomenal AJ Styles, and you're watching Bretto live.
Going forward, I'm going to try to wear a John Cena headband in every single video up until the end of his farewell tour. But what is good, guys? Bretto live back with another WWE action figure setup here on this beautiful Saturday morning. We're going to be starting off with Monday Night Raw. About halfway through the video, we're going to be talking about Smackdown. So yeah, you're going to see two WWE action figure setups in this video. This is the Week in Review, episode 307, where we go over Raw and Smackdown. A lot of fun here this week here for Monday Night Raw. Seth Rollins' new faction. I don't know who's going to take them down. It's an insane faction. Obviously, Bronson Reed being introduced recently. We're going to run through everything that happened here on this episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix. It was insane on this past Monday, Memorial Day weekend, so let's talk about it from Tampa, Florida. When I saw Bronson and Seth side by side, I remembered, I'm like, oh my god, Bronson Reed was the one that used Seth Rollins as an example, hitting multiple tsunamis on him. I don't know why I forgot about that. I totally forgot about that. Totally slipped my mind after he joined him at Saturday Night Main Event, and I was like, what? So Seth Rollins gave him a little death stare kind of during the promo, you know, just saying, I didn't forget about that. But yeah, this faction's dominant, you know, Braun Breaker, Heyman, Bronson Reed. Seth Rollins announced that he's going to be targeting the Money in the Bank briefcase. He would later have a qualifiers match in the main event that I will talk about. But yeah, this was a very dominant promo here in the beginning. Nobody had the balls to interrupt these guys. Holy cow. One of, if not the best triple threat match they've had on Raw is Netflix so far. Chad Gable versus Dragon Lee versus Penta. Triple threat match. Winner goes to Money in the Bank. It was a Money in the Bank ladder match qualifiers match, and my god, it was good. Dragon Lee pulled off one of the most insane suicide dive, tope suicidas, whatever you want to call it, through the middle rope. Bro literally sent himself over Penta, through Penta, over the announce desk. It was absolutely insane. The double team move from Penta was crazy. He had like Chad Gable on his back, Dragon Lee in his front. It was crazy. In the end, Penta did pick up the victory, hitting the Penta driver on Chad Gable. So yeah, he pinned Chad Gable again. Suck it, Chad Gable. So just, you know, sending a message to him and qualifying for Money in the Bank. So good for Penta, bro. Little help from Vikingo as well. Vikingo had an insane kick right to the eyebrow of Chad Gable. So he busted Chad Gable open. This was just a hell of a match, man. What an opener. Oh my goodness. Another Judgment Day promo this week, man. This one was just as good as last week. Roxanne sneaks in the clubhouse again, giving Dominic Mysterio more chicken nuggets, and this time giving him a little massage on his shoulder. Did anybody notice Finn Balor in the background of this promo just smiling his bloody head off, bro? This is all part of his plan. Finn Balor wants that IC championship because here comes the return of Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan literally walks into the clubhouse and is like, what the hell is Roxanne doing in here? Gets into the face of Dom a little bit. So yeah, this was pretty heated, man. Very interesting stuff here. Yeah, so Rusev absolutely squashed Akira Tozawa. It was a one-on-one match. It wasn't even 5 minutes. Rusev taps him out in the Accolade, and he wasn't going to release it if it wasn't for Sheamus. Sheamus made an appearance on this episode of Raw, recently returning, so he's going to come out, kind of stand up to the bully, that being Rusev. He wants to go one-on-one with Rusev, bro. These are two former, if you guys remember the group, League of Nation members. Remember, it was Alberto Del Rio, Wade Barrett, Sheamus, and Rusev, I believe. It was a four-man group of the League of Nations in like 2016, early 2016. But yeah, man, this was interesting. I can't wait for the match. It's going to be an absolute brawl. It was a triple threat tag team match where the New Day had to defend their tag team titles up against the War Raiders and the Creed brothers. I enjoyed this tag match. I thought it was pretty good. In the end, the New Day did skate by with the victory, I believe. Kofi Kingston had the tights of Julius Creed, rolled them up. It's just your typical heel New Day. Doing any means necessary, I mean, to win the tag titles, but it's just like, it's boring, bro. This heel New Day is boring, I'm sorry, but they retained their titles. Jey Uso was cutting his little classic, yeet promo out in the ring, and who's he gonna get interrupted by? Well, his next challenger, man. I mean, Gunther. Gunther is the next challenger, whether it was Logan Paul or Jey Uso that won that title or walked out of the Saturday Night Main Event with that title. It was Jey Uso, so Gunther wants next, and Jey Uso promises to tap out Gunther again. We'll see about that. I don't think he'll tap him out again, but he'll beat Gunther, hopefully. So Kairi Sane got in the face of Liv Morgan backstage, because I mean, Liv Morgan was talking some crap to Kairi Sane. You don't do that to Kairi Sane. So they had a match, one-on-one. You had Raquel Rodriguez on ringside. Keep in mind the veteran here. And Roxanne Perez made an appearance here on ringside, trying to take out Kairi Sane, you know, and kind of help Liv Morgan win, but it backfired. There was a miscommunication. Raquel wasn't there, and then Liv gets pinned by Kairi Sane. Kairi Sane skates away with this victory. I'm like, what? How? Kairi Sane just beat Liv Morgan, former women's champion, current tag team champion. Insane. So Roxanne technically screwed Liv, but that's not how Liv saw it. Liv, backstage, said that Raquel should have been the veteran here and should have stepped up to the plate. So she kind of blamed Raquel for her loss. I was like, oh my God, bro, cracks in the Judgment Day. What is Finn Balor trying to do? Lyra Valkyria said the same thing that I did a couple weeks back. How Becky Lynch came out to the ring, sat on the turnbuckle, and basically pretended like she won the Intercontinental Championship when she didn't. So now it's personal between Lyra and Miss Becky Lynch, because Becky Lynch made her appearance felt, and she talked about Lyra's fiance. She talked about how she tried to really injure her. Becky Lynch pulled some strings, and Becky Lynch is going to be getting a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship and Money in the Bank. I don't know why she deserves that, but yeah. Lyra's even pissed about it. She's like, okay, I guess I have to fight Becky Lynch again, but this time it's personal. I'm going to beat her in. I'm going to hurt you, Becky Lynch. Solid promo here from Lyra. She still needs some work on her promos, but she's not bad. And our main event of the show, so much happened in this. It was obviously a Money in the Bank qualifier match. Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn, and Finn Balor, or should I say once again, oh my God, Finn Balor. I can't believe I'm saying it again. Dude, let's run through the sequence at the end of this match. Jey Uso promised Sami Zayn that if any funny business was pulled by either Braun Breaker or Bronson Reed, Jey Uso was going to come help Sami Zayn, because Sami Zayn had this victory in the bag. If it wasn't for Braun Breaker pulling out Sami Zayn out of the ring, he had the victory. He did. He had the victory. So Jey Uso's going to come out, fight off Braun Breaker, fight off Bronson Reed. And then here randomly comes Dominic Mysterio. I'm like, what is this? Dom, what are you doing out here with a steel chair? He slid the chair to Finn Balor, I think, but Michael Cole and Pat McAfee could back me up on this. That was the worst slid chair ever. Dom is like prone for these sus chair throws in the ring, so he has another one here for Finn. Seth Rollins takes advantage, hits the stomp on Finn Balor, gets pinned. I'm like, what the heck? So Sammy was nowhere to be found, so Seth Rollins took advantage, pinned Finn Balor, 1, 2, 3. So Seth Rollins is going to Money in the Bank, and we were all lied to by Paul Heyman in the beginning of the show. Because CM Punk's music hits, he comes out, freaking wicked GTS on Seth Rollins from behind, keep in mind, because Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker were walking up to the entranceway, but he wasn't coming from that way, he was coming from behind, because CM Punk is a veteran of the game. He knows what's up, man. So he got the last laugh on Seth Rollins, ran into the crowd, Money in the Bank style, celebrating with the fans. It was awesome. This episode of Raw was freaking insane, man. It's gonna get an 8 out of 10. All right, from Tampa, crowd was hot. The show was insane. Oh my gosh, the wrestling was top tier. That's why I'm probably gonna have to give my favorite match Dragon Lee, Penta, and Chad Gable. What a heck of a triple threat match. Y'all are freaking amazing. And my favorite moment also comes in that match. It's gonna be Dragon Lee's dive to the outside. That got the biggest pop for me the entire time. I literally jumped out of my chair. I'm like, oh my God. Like, Dragon Lee literally just went through Penta over the desk. It was insane. Insane. That match was so good. We're going to talk about SmackDown, so let's get it. Friday Night SmackDown from Knoxville, Tennessee. Let's talk about it. Opening up the show with Bianca Belair, and this had to have been one of the cringiest promos of all time from Bianca. She did some sort of Tennessee jingle with the crowd. I'm not too familiar with Tennessee, so I don't really know what the jingle kind of stands for. Maybe it's the college football team. This was cringier than my reaction to CM Punk returning at Survivor Series War Games, so luckily, Naomi's going to interrupt this promo and say to Bianca that she actually broke into her house earlier in the day, so that was interesting. It led to our Money in the Bank qualifiers match, because that Jade Cargo would come out, kind of get into it with Naomi. Once again, leading to our Money in the Bank qualifiers match, which was Naomi, Jade, and Nia Jax making its debut here in the Weekend Review. We got that new Nia Jax action figure. This was a pretty solid triple threat, I'm not gonna lie. I did enjoy the double team move they did off the top rope, and I set it up here with action figures. Powerbomb from Nia and the suplex from Jade. Naomi freaking super duper cool. In the end, we did see Naomi actually pick up the victory, so she's one step closer to becoming Miss Money in the Bank. She kind of snuck like a backslide on Nia Jax. I swear Jade had this one in the bag, but Naomi kind of stole it, man, with the backslide. But not bad. Good for Naomi. This match was so dumb. So JC Mateo set up a match with R-Truth backstage. So they went one-on-one. R-Truth just gets absolutely demolished, or should I say Ron Cena. Got absolutely demolished by JC Mateo, and then Solo and JC are just going to start two-on-oneing R-Truth. So here comes randomly just Jimmy Uso. Like, Jimmy Uso randomly pops out, and he's like, hey, I got a steel chair. I'm going to try to help you out, R-Truth. And then Jimmy gets attacked. So his help backfires. JC attacks Jimmy, and then Solo and JC just kind of dominate here. I'm like, what was the point of all this? No Jacob Fatu here. Jacob Fatu handled his own business later in the night. Dude, Javon Evans is so good. So Javon Evans from literally NXT, one of the bounciest guys I've ever seen. They had a tag team match. So Javon Evans and Rey Fenix, what a duo, went up against Angel and Bretto of Los Garza. Keep in mind, All Ego Ethan Page was on ringside, the brand new North American champion, who's gonna be having a match up at AAA pretty soon that involves Javon Evans and involves Rey Fenix. So he's obviously gonna screw them over, but man, I wanted to see Javon Evans get the pinfall so bad. But Javon Evans is gonna be the eventual one that gets pinned in this match due to All Ego. So Angel and Bretto take a big W, and you gotta think Santos is gonna be happy for them. Oh yeah, and Santos jumped on the apron too, bro. Screw you, Santos. But I like Bretto and Angel. So it was promoted before the show that the Street Profits were gonna be live on this episode of SmackDown. I'm like, oh, I wonder who's gonna interrupt. Literally every tag team on the roster. DIY, MCMG, Axiom. I'm like, bro, who else is gonna come out? The Wyatt Six! The Wyatt Six make another appearance, very similar to last week. They kind of just laid everybody out. They literally did. They targeted the faces, they targeted the heels, and it wasn't really specifically stated by Uncle Howdy, but I would assume Uncle Howdy wants the WWE Tag Team Championship. So everybody's on his list. He wants to take out everybody. I feel like Howdy wants the gold. But who is going to be the tag team, though? Because there's multiple guys in the Wyatt Six. You got Joe Gacy, you have Dexter Loomis, Eric Rowan. Who's going to be the tag team champions? Who's going to be teaming up? But yeah, I'm excited to see what the Wyatt Six are going to do, man. They're wreaking havoc. Selena Vega went one-on-one with Alba Fire, and keep in mind, Chelsea Green was on ringside, and Chelsea Green had a gnarly bruise on her nose. Remember when she was bleeding from the nose at the Saturday Night Main Event from the kick to the face? So she had a mask on. She takes the mask off, looks to hit Selena Vega with the mask, but then hits her own tag partner, Piper Niven. I'm like, ow? So Piper Niven gets taken out by her own friend, Chelsea Green, and then Selena Vega is able to take advantage, hit the code red on Alba Fire and win the match. It was okay. Nothing too special here, but it's good to see Selena pick up the victory. Would later go face-to-face with Julia, so Julia's probably next in line for the title. Damian Priest is going to cut an interesting promo here, kind of respecting Drew McIntyre, saying, Drew, a real man stepped in there, mad respect to you. And he paid his respects to Jacob Fatu, so maybe setting up his next storyline possibly with Jacob Fatu. Maybe he wants to get his hands on the United States Championship. Damian Priest finishes up his promo. He's walking up the ramp, walks right past Jacob Fatu, and we jump right into our Money in the Bank qualifiers match. But as far as the promo for Damian Priest, it was okay. This Money in the Bank qualifiers match ended so weird. So Jacob Fatu fought Carmelo Hayes and Andrade, right? Winner goes to Money in the Bank. I wanted it to be Melo so bad, and you might be thinking like, wait, why wouldn't you want it to be Jacob Fatu? Obviously, I'd love for it to be Jacob Fatu, but he's the United States champion, man. He's already a champion. He doesn't need that briefcase. I wanted it to be Melo so bad. You don't even know. So Jacob Fatu gets screwed. He gets screwed by his own family. Solo Sikoa, JC Mateo, jumping up on the apron saying, hit another moonsault. Bro, he's put people away with one moonsault all the time. Why would he need another moonsault? So Solo Sikoa gets screwed, gets taken out of the equation, and then freaking who takes advantage? Andrade. Andrade pins Carmelo Hayes. Why is Andrade going to Money in the Bank, bro? He ain't gonna win. He never does. I swear Andrade's in like every Money in the Bank match too. He never wins. Not gonna happen. Oh, this should have been Carmelo. I would have loved to have seen what Carmelo could do in Money in the Bank. I think he's been in Money in the Bank before, but man, I would have just loved it. I wish it was Melo. Straight up, man. And why'd they gotta do my boy Jacob like that? So John Cena was scheduled to make an appearance here in Tennessee. He would make his appearance, and this is probably one of the weakest appearances from John Cena in his farewell tour so far. I feel like nothing really happened in this promo. So Cody Rhodes would start the promo talking about Cena, and he said he had a surprise for us. And who was that surprise? Jey Uso, man. It was really nice to see Jey. I always love seeing Jey Uso make his entrance, eating with the fans, the young fans. I always find that so awesome. And then John Cena would interrupt, call Cody and Jey Uso wannabes. John Cena brought out his tag partner, Logan Paul, and everything John said, he would never say back in the day. John Cena backing up Logan Paul. Like, he would never support a guy like Logan Paul. Are you kidding me? This is not my John Cena. I don't know who this guy is. Like, it literally is so pathetic. Like, turn my boy face again, please. Nothing he says makes sense. My SmackDown did cut out at the 3-hour mark, so I didn't get the entire feel for this promo, but I did overhear that Cody Rhodes mentioned something about Logan Paul polishing a peacemaker, which of course John Cena played that character in the DC universe. Chaos would ensue, and then Cody Rhodes would eventually reign supreme with John Cena's championship. Yeah, Cody had John's title, and And then Jay obviously had his title, but this just is just so similar to what happened at the Saturday Night Main Event. Ended in a brawl, Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes on top. It's just so similar to what happened. It's kind of repetitive, man. This was definitely not my favorite appearance from John Cena on his farewell tour. This was pretty lame. No, low-key. Favorite match for this episode of SmackDown is going to be Javon Evans and Rey Fenix versus Los Garza. Favorite moment was probably the surprise entrance from Jey Uso. That was actually pretty fire. And ranking the entire show out of 10, I'm going to give this episode of SmackDown a solid 7 out of 10. And I hope you guys enjoyed the week in review setup. Stay tuned for more videos, man. Check out all the reviews. We got another review banging tomorrow. We gotta be reviewing the Bloodline, including that Solo Sikoa and the Tongans right there. So stay tuned for that review, and I'll see you guys next time. Much love, guys. Brett out.